And we are live. Hello, my darlings. I will give it a minute or two to see if anybody's can join us. And pull up what I need to so that I can see the chat, hopefully. Let's see. Alrighty. Let's see. There we go. There we go. And I am the only one in here. Okay. Well, I could start talking and telling you what's going on. Oh, there we go. Sexy Grandma Darkness is here, and Gamers Are Life. Welcome, welcome you both. Wonderful. Oh, and Tiffany made it, and Donovan. Hello, everybody. I'm so glad you could make it. As I said, I didn't get today's stories recorded. I've had kind of a crazy week, a crazy year. I've had some health problems, and of all things to hit me, I got hit with Bell's palsy last Tuesday, a week ago. So that's one of the worst things that could happen because it's hard to enunciate when half of your mouth won't work. But luckily, what I was going to do was I was going to cut back on the channel and pause my Patreon and all of that other stuff. But luckily, it has cleared up pretty quickly. As you can hear, I'm not too bad off. So I think I'm going to keep on with business as usual. I might do some shorter stories from time to time in, trying to relieve a bit of stress. And not only that, but I'm in, the week before it happened, I signed another audiobook contract. So I have that to work on as well, but it's not very long. So it should go well. But yeah, so I'm almost back to normal, and which feels really good. So yeah, so I was going to make some changes, but I don't think I'm going to make very many more changes. So yeah, I'm almost back to normal. How are you all doing today? I hope you are all doing great and enjoying this lovely summer day. Thank you, feeling of being watched. I don't put my prices very high, but it's kind of an honor for me to do the audiobooks, and I'll admit it, it's bragging rights. You get to tell people, well, I do audiobooks. Even if I've only done 2. Hello, Darren. Welcome, welcome. Thank you all for coming. I'm so glad you're here. Let's see. I have a couple of short stories today. It was going to be a short video for today, and I recorded the audio, and then I went back to record a little bit of it, and it erased the whole thing. So I'm like, oh, forget it. I'll just do it live. So that's what I'm doing. I don't. Feeling of being watched. I go through a site called Find a Way Voice, and you can get on there and upload samples, and you put yourself out there. And mainly it's a place that gets smaller authors and voice actors together to do it. So it's really good that way. Oh, a very happy birthday to you, Darren. I hope it's a wonderful one. Donovan, you had one of your books turned into an audiobook. That's awesome. That's great. Oh, I do not like muggy Sexy Grandma Darkness. No, I was raised in a very arid climate, and so the muggy does not do good for me. Oh, and it's cloudy in Alabama. Well, summer storms are fun. I like summer lightning storms, Tiffany. Hopefully you'll get a good lightning show out of it. I won't ask you how old you are, Darren. So, anyway, so I have a couple of short stories, and then I have an H.P. Lovecraft poem, too. Oh, that's so exciting. Happy anniversary to you both, Darren. That's so cool. That's awesome. So, oh, I love severe weather too. I love rain and I love thunder showers, and it's just exciting. Sunny and hotter than sin in Wyoming. Are you up in Wyoming? I'm not too far. I'm in northern Utah. So, that's pretty close. I am just a little bit older than you, Darren. Just a little bit. So, yes. Okay. Well, maybe I will get started with the first story if that's okay with you guys. This one is by Homeless Wafer, and it is from the Library of Shadows subreddit. It is, I'll just read it and I'll let you guys hear for yourself and see what you think. Let's see here. All give some give all. My master, Lord Elridge, as he insists we call him, dined dressed in his usual crisp tuxedo. He wore a white goatee, long white hair, and a neutral expression, as if deep in thought. He was nearly done with his meal, seasoned heavily with garlic, and fried like a chicken wing. I waited behind his right shoulder as he slurped the meat off the small bone and let it clatter to his plate. He leaned back, wiping his face with a cloth napkin from his lap so that I could take his dishes. He didn't look at me or so much acknowledge me as I stepped to his side. He never looked at any of us as we served him, but it was for the best. He only looked at us when we broke something or couldn't complete our duties of cooking and serving him food. You could tell he was angry when he leveled his gaze at you. People were left in their cells for days just for breaking a glass. The thought of having his eyes on me chilled my blood. I took the plates and glasses towards the kitchen door. A young man's head looked through the window of the kitchen doors. He was a gangly red-headed teenager who had just arrived yesterday, who didn't look at all at home in his white uniform. I could nearly feel the cloud of anxiety around him as he stood with his hands outstretched. I started to hand him the dishware as his eyes shifted past me. He was looking over my shoulder at Lord Eldridge's back, as if the man had eyes in the back of his head under his long white hair. His breathing was so labored, I'm surprised our master didn't turn to look at his pitiful attempt to calm his breathing. The plate slipped through his fingers, but I managed to grab them before they fell. Heart pounding, I looked over my shoulder to see if our captor had heard the clatter of the plates on each other. I rushed him into the kitchen and put the dishes on the counter. You're lucky. I was so quick. Sorry. It's a habit. I have to do that. You're lucky I was so quick to grab those. You have to be careful, Daniel. This is the man that kidnapped you. All of us. No, you need to listen. I grabbed him by his collar, pushing him against the tiled wall until we were nose to nose. Everything you've heard about Eldridge from the cooks, it's all true, Daniel. Rhonda tried to escape from her cell. She shoved the door into his face as he closed it, broke his nose, and escaped as he recovered. I saw her run past my cell until she was out of sight, and he chased after her with one of his goons. The next day I found a trail of blood all the way from the end of the hall to the freezers. We have to live by his rules, or maybe not at all. He paled and I released him. He walked like a rusty automaton towards his dishwashing station in silence. He forgot the plates next to me, so I dropped the finger bones in the garbage. I felt sorry for the kid. He was kidnapped just yesterday and lost 2 fingers this morning. Unlucky kid had been pushed to the front of the rotation. Mistakes were inevitable as our digits diminished and our fear grew. I had to be the one to cut off his pinkies to give to the cooks. Fear was my shadow, but it kept me alert. If I prove incompetent, I would likely have a stew named after me. So quoth this raven. Oh. Okay, go make dinner, sexy grandma darkness. Just don't use pinkies. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, I thought that was a very good and macabre story. Thank you to Homeless Wafer for letting me share it. So, anyway, who showed up while we were gone? There we go. SKF1408, how are you today? It's on Reddit, Donovan. It's the Library of Shadows subreddit. It's got some fun stuff on there. Hello, Lou. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you're having a lovely Tuesday. I don't think this will be a very long live stream, but, you know, it's here because I was not prepared, which is the first time in, well, at least a few years. So, oh, where the writers can find narrators. No, that's good. I use Find a Way Voice. It's a good site. I've had a good experience working with them. So yeah, yeah. Go check them out, Donovan. They could probably help you out there. There's many different narrators. They have different rates, whatever. So whatever you're looking for. So yeah, was it Auntie Creeps that was saying she worked with a different site and she thought this one was a lot more fair to the authors and voice actors. I don't remember which one she'd worked for before, but that when she checked it out, that it looked pretty good to her. So yeah, I'm on there. I'm on Fiverr too. So we'll see. I also like to check out record this and record this for free on Reddit. Just for fun when I've got extra to see what's going on and what people are looking for and need. So a way to keep my hobby fresh and fun and exciting. Hello, Dinazilla. How are you? One of my writers. So exciting. I hope you're having a great day. Okay, this was another short one. This one is actually off the Missing 411 subreddit, which I find very fascinating. The one I did on the fairy theory. Thank you very much, Donovan. That's very kind of you. The one I did on the fairy theories of the disappearances has done pretty well for me. It's got a fairly constant viewing. Thank you, Dinazilla. Thank you very much. This short story here took place in Germany, and the folklore involved in it is what really interested me. So I'll read this one again really quick for you. Experience in the Woods in Germany by Steve89. This is my first post on Reddit. I usually just lurk. I think it is time to share my story. I'm 29 years old, and this happened about 14 years ago. Back in the day, the soldiers who had been stationed here would go out to train in the woods. We would go there almost every day, checking the shooting ranges for bullets, shells, etc., whatever we could find. Since I'm half American, I would talk to many of the soldiers, and we would often trade beer, chocolate for some MREs. In the forest, there used to live a woman. We called her Waldehexe. I guess would translate to forest witch in English. This woman lived in the woods for 25 years. The last thing I heard about this woman was that she got arrested by the police and is locked up in a mental asylum. We often talked to this lady, and she would talk about random stuff that made no sense at all. She often talked about Wichtelmänner. Wichtelmänner. Yes, sorry. Just checking that's how to say it. Wichtelmänner. I have no clue what the English translation would be. Maybe some kind of dwarf or imp. Not sure about it. She even showed us the clothes she sewed, crafted for them, and said it was some kind of tribute so that she can live peacefully in the forest. Judging by the size of the clothing, they had to be like a foot tall. Anyway, on this particular day, me and my two buddies decided to ride our bikes deeper into the woods, just to explore and maybe find a new shooting range. In the distance, we saw a person sitting on a log beside the trail. My bud was like, "That has to be the witch." Turned out he was right. As we got closer to her, she stood up and blocked our path. She was really angry and asked us what we were doing here. We told her we just wanted to explore the woods some more. This is about the time I was a little creeped out. She started to talk weird stuff about crabbenmenschen, some kind of crab humanoid. At one point, we'd had enough of her crazy stories, and we kind of laughed it off. I said to her, well, maybe we'll meet one of your friends along the way. We hopped back on our bikes, and just as I was going to pedal off, she suddenly grabbed my arm. It was really tight grip she had on me, and with a kind of creepy smile she said, I warned you. I told her to F off and let me alone. We kept advancing deeper into the woods and joking about the things she said. We maybe did about, I'd say, 2 more kilometers until the trail was so bad it became impossible to ride a bike. We have taken a break and decided that we'd turn around. All 3 of us were just sitting on an old log, and suddenly I became goosebumps, and even my eyes have gotten a little bit watery. I look over to Daniel and notice he has goosebumps too. Mark, my other friend who was with us, said, you guys feel that too? We are being watched. Daniel is the type of guy who always goofs around and stuff, and I would have bet all my money in that moment he would say something like, the crab people are stalking us, just to break the tension. But he didn't. Instead, he said with a serious tone, we should get out of here now. We were riding out of the woods at a really fast pace, and it felt like forever to get out of there. We've never really talked about it, nor even after all these years. I have goosebumps writing this part of it. I was really scared that day. The silence was what freaked me out. You didn't hear a bird, a branch falling off a tree, nothing. Just dead silence. Who knows what was out there? I thought this story was fitting for Missing 411 sub. I've been following Missing 411 for a good 2 years now. I apologize for my English writing. It's not the best. If you have questions about the Valdehexa or anything, I'll be around to answer them. Thank you for your time reading. So, quote, this raven. I like that. Just the feel of it. Just, it's not a full-blown story, but you encounter these things, and it's interesting. It's interesting. I like Josh Gates, Tiffany. I like his stuff. I do. It's fun to watch. And it's really interesting, all the different stuff. Oh, Tiffany, that's so sweet of you to say. To put me up with those guys, really. That's sweet. Hey, the Swedish mom made it. How are you? Thank you, feeling of being watched. Yes, it's I don't know, it's a short little encounter, but I don't know, have any of you ever had something, been somewhere out in nature or even in your own home that something strange and creepy has happened to you that's just not right? I'm doing much better than I thought I would be, Swedish mom. As I mentioned before, I was going to cut back on the channel, but my recovery has sped up quite a bit. I don't feel like I'm slurring my words. So I don't plan on cutting back too much on the channel, so yay. But yes, I loved the Josh Gates shows. They were really interesting. Oh, that does sound terrifying, Donovan. Do you want to tell us more about that with the demonic? Thank you, Tiffany. Oh, congratulations, Dinozilla. I'm glad that you've got somebody else doing that. Yes, sub to the feeling of being watched. Oh, so go get Donovan's books. Yes, for sure. Okay, I'm going to butcher your name, but hello, Phlegathron? Thon. Phlegathon. Flag. We'll go Flag. How are you this fine Tuesday? I hope everything is going well. You know, I've done some paranormal research. I've gone ghost hunting. I cannot say that during those I've encountered anything demonic, which is good. Um, I'm not going to bemoan the fact. I do plan still to put together some of my better EVPs and maybe photos in a video or two, if you guys are still interested in that. That should be fun. I ran across my old files. Some of them are good, and some of them I'm just going to throw out because I can't hear what I heard back then. But oh, thank you. I was lucky. I recorded Saturday's video on Tuesday when I first started to come down with it. So the worst of it, I didn't have to record. Really, the feeling of being watched. I had a similar thing happen to me with my mother. It was quite interesting. We were going down the highway, and this old truck cut us off and turned pulled out right in front of us. And my mother swerved to the other lane and said, "Oh, you dumb jerk. I hope you get your A fried." And just as that came out of her mouth, the hood of the truck flipped up and the guy couldn't see where he was going. And the timing was so perfect that I'm just like, Mother. But yeah, I how that sounds like an interesting thing, feeling of being watched. Did something? Oh, hey, hang on. I don't know who that is. I should have turned my phone off. Sorry. So, yeah. I don't know. Some women you don't want to mess with. Oh, hello, Miriam. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you made it. I'm so happy to see you here. Yes, I tried to give a little bit of notice this morning and yesterday on this. Um, so yes, I know I'm terrible at giving notices on live streams, but that's the way it is. So I don't know. If this works out well, maybe I'll do live streams more often. Um, Maybe I'll do this more often. It's so fun to interact with you all. Um, Yeah, I don't have much more. I do have a Lovecraft poem to read, which I will probably mess up a lot more than I did the other two because I haven't read it through perfectly. And he throws in, of course, a lot of archaic words. But what can you do, right? Okay, I will take you guys. I will take this. Hey, Creighton. That's okay. Welcome, welcome. Creighton. Sorry. Creighton. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for coming, Donovan. I hope your day is absolutely lovely. Oh, that is a good time. That is a good time. Yes, it's 12:30 here now, so. Favorite Lovecraftian adjective? Oh, well, it would have to be eldritch, wouldn't it? Isn't that everybody's favorite? And a terrifying day to you too, Creighton. Oh, love you too, Donovan. Thank you so much for coming. So, yeah. Okay, I will read The Nightmare Lake by H.P. Lovecraft. There is a lake in distant Zon, beyond the wonted hunts of men, where broods alone in a hideous state a spirit dead and desolate, a spirit ancient and unholy, heavy with fearsome melancholy, which from the waters dull and dense draw vapors cursed with pestilence. Around the banks a mire of clay sprawl things offensive in decay, and curious birds that reach that shore are seen by mortals nevermore. Here shines by day the searing sun on glassy wastes behind, beheld by none, and here by night pale moonbeams flow into the deeps that yawn below. In nightmares only is it told what scenes beneath those beams unfold, what scenes too old for human sight lie sunken there in endless night. For in those depths there's only pace, the shadows of a voiceless race. One midnight, redolent of ill, I saw that lake, asleep and still, while in the lurid sky there rose a gibbous moon that glowed and glowed. I saw the stretching marshy shore, and the foul things those marshes bore, lizards and snakes convulsed and dying, ravens and vampires putrefying. All these and hovering o'er the dead, narcophagy that on them fed, and in the dreadful moon climbed high, frightening the stars from out of the sky. I saw the lake's dull water glow, till sunken things appeared below. There shone unnumbered fathoms down the towers of a forgotten town, the tarnished domes and mossy walls, weed-tangled spires and empty halls, deserted fanes and vaulted of dread, and streets of gold uncoveted. These I beheld and saw beside a horde of shapeless shadows glide, a noxious horde which to my glance seemed moving in a hideous dance round slimy sepulchres that lay beside a never-traveled way. Straight from those tombs a heavy rose that vexed the water's dull repose, while lethal shadows of upper space howled at the moon's sardonic face. Then sank the lake within its bed, sucked down to caverns of the dead, till from the reeking, new script earth curled fetid fumes of noisome birth. About the city nigh uncovered, the monstrous dancing shadows hovered, when lo there opt with sudden stir the portal of each sepulchre. No ear may learn, no tongue may tell, what nameless horror then befell. I see that lake, that moon a-grin, that city and the things within, walking, I pray that on that shore the nightmare lake may sink no more. You like the tongue clicks, huh, Miriam? Oh, yeah, well, if you go back and listen, I did a few on the other stories. I didn't have too many mistakes in there. And I hit a few. Oh, goodness. Thank you very much. Oh, yes, Lovecraft did have a problem with racism. It's 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 hard to find an author who didn't from that time period or before. Lovecraft he can be hard. That one wasn't too bad. Sometimes you really have to work over those words. But yeah. Thank you very much, Dinozilla. Usually I make a lot more mistakes, so I'm glad I didn't this time. Yeah, so thank you all very much for coming. I'm going to keep it short today, so I have laundry piling up and other things going on today. But thank you all so very much for coming. I appreciate it so much. There would be little point in me doing this without you. You guys are just awesome. Thank you so much for coming. And I will have a video out on Thursday for you all on Darren's birthday. So, thanks again. And I'll see you next time. So quoth this raven. Bye-bye.